My fiancé dumped me, kept the apartment, demanded rent. Then I discovered her affair, and she unleashed hell on my family. Okay, so it escalated fast. She locked me out twice. She blocked me, then unblocked. My hands went numb, right? I mean, what was happening? And here is where it gets worse. Her friend forwarded screenshots of drunk confessions. She'd been seeing a coworker for months. 36 calls hit my mom overnight. The phone log marked each minute. When I packed, her ring was gone. And that stung. Proof piled up, and my chest burned. I opened the call record. Who is Nolan? Her voice went thin. Nobody important. He is your coworker, right? She rustled papers. We are over, so you cheated then? Flat tone. I deserved better. I pulled bank statements from the joint fund. 12 months of deposits, mostly mine, 600 each payday, plus bonuses. Her parts added up to 4,000. I moved only my contributions out. Messages poured in 3 times daily. Calls spiked since September, twice nightly. At this point, I'm done. The property manager adjusted his glasses. Miss one rent share, we file collections. It will wreck your credit for years. I walked to the precinct for help. The officer tapped notes, unimpressed. This is not domestic violence. File a civil claim, maybe. My stomach twisted during that sentence. Now I'm wondering what now. He shrugged, printed a pamphlet. I just stared, hands shaking. If the system shrugs, then what? He slid the form back untouched. I walked out, throat tight. So here is the thing. I still owed half the lease. And she refused any transfer. If institutions won't help, do I fight dirty? You know that feeling when corners close in. That is where I was. Everything tightened, and I waited. Part of me wanted to crawl back. Part of me plotted documentation. I grabbed the joint account ledger. Then I backed up every message. Screenshots, call logs, calendar invites. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not just move home? My mom's health means quiet nights. And guess who kept calling? I flagged my brother. She will escalate. He rubbed his jaw. Change the locks. I do not live there. He checked his screen. Record everything. You think this is abuse? His voice went steady. Yes, obviously. Then I understood the pattern, control, isolation, financial pressure. I unlocked the apartment and stepped in. She lounged on the couch scrolling. Her eyes flicked up, annoyed. Rent is due tomorrow, she said. I lifted a box of clothes. We need to sublet my portion. She stood abruptly. Not happening. I swallowed and walked toward the door. Take me off the lease. She crossed her arms. Pay your half. You ended us, remember? Her voice sharpened. You failed me. My jaw locked and I nodded. Then her phone lit up again. Unknown number calling. My mom's contact flashed beneath it. This is where everything fell apart. Do I pick up or leave? I answered on speaker. Pulse hammering. My mom coughed, voice scratchy. She called 36 times. We're filing a report tonight. The ex rolled her eyes. Drama queen. Stop calling my mother, please. Her tone went smug. Prove it. I pocketed the phone and breathed. Then I headed to the station. My brother met me outside. He handed me a folder, printouts. We document everything, right? He nodded once. Every insult, every call. What about the lease? He checked his notes. N15 might apply. She has to agree, though. At this point, I'm exhausted. But I kept moving forward. I printed the call summaries. Then, I compiled the bank transfers. Her father rang my phone repeatedly. I let it ring, watching. What now? A voicemail arrived within minutes. Do right by her. By emptying my savings. The next message dripped contempt. Pay her rent share. This is harassment, George. I forwarded everything to my brother. We walked into the property office. The manager recognized me immediately. He clasped his hands. Still no agreement? She refuses everything. Yeah, he glanced at a chart. 2 tenants, joint liability. There is no exit. He lowered his voice. Pay or face collections. Then I knew the battlefield, money and paperwork, not love. That night, my phone buzzed constantly. A number I did not recognize. A coworker of hers messaged me. He worked in her department. He dropped chat logs, time-stamped. Flirty banter, starting in March. Trips during lunches, then hotels, and there it was, confession. Why are you sending this? He responded fast. You deserve truth. Did she use me for rent? His tone felt weary. She gamed everyone. Since when exactly? Since April, maybe earlier. My shoulders tensed and stayed rigid. Every piece aligned too neatly. I prepared the N15 packet. Then I drafted a notice letter. I climbed the stairs, letter ready. She opened the door mid-scroll. I held out the envelope. She laughed and stepped aside. I entered, placed it on table. She flicked the envelope. What is this? Notice of end of tenancy? She scanned the header. Abuse clause, really? You torched my finances. Her eyes narrowed. You took our wedding money. I withdrew my deposits only. She lunged toward my pocket suddenly. I stepped back and raised palms. Her voice climbed into something shrill. You're stealing from me. From me. After cheating. She grabbed the notice. I'll ruin you. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Voices carried, then keys rattled. Her father stepped inside without knocking. He planted himself between us. Leave now. This is still my address. He jabbed a finger. You are trespassing. I'm on the lease, George. His jaw worked. Cops are coming, my brother texted, asking location. I typed the address and waited. Her father smirked and blocked exit. She hovered behind him, triumphant. Sirens wailed faintly from the street. Her voice went quiet. They'll drag you out. I gripped the notice and steadied myself. The officers knocked, and the room froze. I lifted my hands slowly. Her father stepped sideways, blocking. 2 uniforms entered, eyes scanning everything. One pointed at the envelope on the table. I nodded toward it, staying still. Okay, so I kept breathing. I produced my license, then the lease. He glanced between us, assessing. The second officer shifted weight, listening. This was about control, not peace, and then it changed. The taller officer addressed the room through policy. Who actually lives here? I raised the lease. Both of us. Her father scoffed loudly. He does not reside. I kept my voice low. She barred entry. The officer raised a hand. Enough posturing. He motioned toward the door. Everyone cool off. He looked at me. Collect essentials today. He turned to her. No interference, understood. Her jaw tightened. Fine. Part of me wanted to dig in. Part of me wanted to survive intact. I packed a duffel, grabbed chargers, documents. I unplugged a work laptop carefully. She muttered under her breath constantly. The officer cleared his throat once. I zipped the bag and faced them. I'll pursue tenant remedies tomorrow. She rolled her eyes dramatically. The officer opened the door. I stepped into the hall, exhaling. He followed me out quietly. At the elevator, he leaned closer. Document, then apply for relief. I nodded slowly. Already compiling everything. He tapped the lease copy. Keep that safe. Doors slid open with a chime. I entered. Then the doors closed. My legs trembled, and I steadied. Then I knew the next step. I parked outside my brother's place. He opened immediately, concern obvious. I lifted the duffel higher. He moved aside without comment. In the kitchen, he poured water. I drank, hands still shaking. Polis escorted me out. He rubbed his forehead. Damage. Only my pride, I guess. He pulled a chair back. What is next? Tenant board hearing, and a harassment order, and a fraud alert. All of it, right? Part of me wanted revenge. Part of me wanted distance. I opened my laptop, compiled timelines. I inserted screenshots, dates, times. He scanned each page carefully. We need an affidavit, he said. I glanced up, surprised. From who exactly? He tapped the coworker's thread. Start there, then neighbors. My shoulders squared a little. I drove to the precinct with Prince. The duty clerk reviewed my package. Her eyes lingered on the call totals. 36 in one night. I nodded once. My mom is sick. She flagged the file for a supervisor. A sergeant emerged, posture deliberate. He skimmed the statements quickly. Then he nodded, voice measured. We'll note harassment and intimidation. He slid a card across the counter. File a peace bond petition. I tucked the card into my wallet. As I turned, my phone vibrated. A new email popped up. Subject line. HR, inquiry regarding workplace conduct. I opened it, breath hitching. Her coworker had lodged a complaint. He alleged she'd threatened him repeatedly. If he stopped covering for her, she warned retaliation. Attached were chat excerpts and timestamps. This was bigger than my breakup. I grabbed the hallway railing outside. My chest tightened, heat rising. Now, I know what you're thinking. Go nuclear, or keep it narrow. I chose narrow for now. Protect myself, not destroy her. I forwarded the email to my folder. Then I messaged the coworker briefly. Are you safe right now? I've involved HR already. She threatened you. His reply came quick. Yes, repeatedly. Would you confirm for tribunal? Yes, if subpoenaed. I pressed my knuckles against my thigh. The plan solidified, piece by piece. The landlord emailed. Tone clipped. Rent remains due immediately. I replied with notice details. Seeking N15 termination. He responded within minutes. We require her consent still. I stared at the screen, jaw tight. The phone rang again immediately. Her father filled the speaker, booming. You think paperwork protects you? I kept my voice even. Stop contacting my family. His tone went mocking. Pay the bill. Boy. I ended the call deliberately. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me stayed strategic. I scheduled tenant duty counsel for Tuesday. I created a binder for evidence. My brother highlighted key entries neatly. We mapped a timeline on printer paper. Then we compared it against her threats. Patterns emerged. Regular as clockwork, nights, weekends, then payday spikes. Control escalated around money milestones. The duty counsel appointment arrived quickly. I carried the binder downtown, weary. A paralegal greeted me with focus. She flipped pages, eyes tracking dates. Then she leaned back, considering everything. You have grounds under duress. I gripped the chair, hopeful. She continued carefully. But it is uphill. What would help most? She ticked items on a pad. Third-party witnesses, medical impact, police file number, employer statements. I pulled the card from my wallet. Police file number is here. She nodded once, writing it down. Next, get your mother's doctor note. My stomach tightened a little. She hates paperwork visits. The paralegal looked steady. This protects you both. Then she slid a template across. Draft a sworn declaration, tonight. I left the office with purpose outside. Dusk pressed against buildings. My phone vibrated again relentlessly. Unknown number, voicemail immediately after. I listened, heart kicking hard. Her voice slurred through static. Pay my rent or regret it. Then another follow-up message. I'll call your boss tomorrow. My jaw ground until it hurt. I contacted my manager before she could. We met in a small conference room. He folded his hands, listening carefully. I laid out everything, point by point. There may be calls incoming. He nodded slowly, face neutral. We keep work and personal separate, he added, tone firm. If she harasses staff, we document. I swallowed and thanked him quietly. Part of me relaxed slightly. Part of me braced harder. I filed a fraud alert with bureaus. Then I changed passwords everywhere. Two-factor on every account immediately. The next morning, everything blew up. Her number hit my screen at sunrise. I answered and listened. Waiting. She launched into threats about work. I'm calling your boss. Enjoy unemployment. My leg bounced. He already knows. Her voice dropped. You'll regret this. I hung up and stared at the wall. Now, I know what you're thinking. Report it. Right? I did. I filed the peace bond that afternoon. The clerk reviewed the forms, then stamped them. Hearing within 2 weeks, she said. My shoulders eased a little, and then the bigger shoe dropped. HR emailed again, requesting a statement. The coworker provided a signed letter. He described threats, coercion, and cover-ups. I'll testify if needed. I thanked him, then forwarded everything to my binder. That night, pounding rattled my brother's door. He peered through the peephole, face tense. It is her, plus her father. My chest felt hot. Call the police. He dialed, voice flat. She started yelling through the door. Pay me, or I'll ruin your life. The siren chorus cut her off. 2 officers arrived within minutes. They separated everyone on the landing. I handed over the binder. One officer skimmed the call lists. He whistled softly. 36 to the mother. Yes, during one night. He nodded, then turned to her. Ma'am, step back from this residence. Her father puffed up, barking. He owes money. The officer lifted a palm. Civil issue. Leave now. They grudgingly retreated to the elevator. The officer took a note. We'll attach this to your bond file. After they left, I slumped into a chair. You know that feeling when your body stops buzzing? That was me. Part of me wanted payback. Part of me wanted quiet. The tenant board hearing came faster than expected. We sat on stiff chairs, facing a member. She reviewed my affidavit, then examined the texts. Explain the financial pressure. I pointed to the line items. Joint account, mostly my deposits. Her father tried to interrupt. The member raised a brow. You are not a party. He scowled and stared at the floor. My ex crossed her arms tight. He abandoned the unit. I kept my tone even. I was forced out. The member leaned in, voice clear. Given the harassment evidence, I will grant an order permitting early termination under N15. My throat loosened slightly. The lease continues in her name only. Your liability ends 30 days from today. Her head snapped toward the member. He should still pay. The member shook her head. No, this is my ruling. And that was that. After the hearing, I requested a police standby. We arranged a pickup window for my remaining boxes. 2 officers met me at the building. She hovered in the kitchen, simmering. I unplugged the kettle, then taped shut a box. My hands trembled once, then steadied. She tried one last jab. You will always be nothing. I met her eyes briefly. Then stopped calling. The officer cleared his throat. Time to go. We left without another word. A week later, the peace bond hearing convened. She showed up with counsel, chin high. The judge reviewed the call logs, voicemails, and texts. He turned to her, tone crisp. No contact for 1 year. Violations will trigger arrest. My jaw unclenched at last. HR closed its investigation soon after. The coworker updated me by email. Discipline plus removal from client accounts. I read it twice, then set the phone down. My hands finally stopped shaking. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do I miss her? I miss who I thought she was. The love I pictured did not exist. She wanted control, not partnership. Therapy started 2 days later. First session. The counselor leaned forward, hands open. Tell me where in your body you notice this. I touched my chest. Here, heat and pressure. She nodded slowly. That is your alarm system. It works. We practiced grounding with breath counts. My shoulders dropped for the first time. Weeks went by, quieter. The landlord confirmed the lease transfer. A final letter arrived in the mail. 0 balance, no liability. I exhaled until empty. My mom slept through the night, finally. I cooked dinner for her and my sister. They laughed at a silly story. My chest stayed calm. I blocked every number, everywhere. The ring sat in a drawer. I considered pawning it, then paused. Part of me wanted closure. Part of me wanted to forget. I walked to the lake on a cool evening. The water moved, steady, unbothered. I slipped the ring into my pocket. I release this, I whispered. No speeches, no audience. Just me, breathing. Back home. I opened the binder. I added the final orders, then closed it. Not a trophy, a boundary. If you are listening and you recognize the pattern, hear me. It is not love when your world shrinks. It is not loyalty to pay for your own erasure. It is okay to document. It is okay to leave. I thought walking away would break me. It rebuilt me instead. My brother bumped my shoulder during a game night. You coming back to yourself. I smiled, small but real. Yeah. Feels possible again. The phone stays quiet now, work stabilized, rent sorted, sleep restored. Therapy continues, not because I am broken, but because I am worth maintenance. One last thing, because people always ask, do I forgive her? I forgive myself first. I forgive the version of me that stayed. I forgive the version of me that left. She is responsible for her choices. I am responsible for my boundaries. If your story looks like mine, please talk to someone. Call a friend, a counselor, a hotline. You are not overreacting. You are not weak. You are waking up. I packed boxes with shaking hands and still made it out. I thought love meant surrender. Now I know it means mutual care. It means nobody tracks your location or your spending to keep you small. Thanks for staying with me.